Hey guys, Ryu here with another vid for Blender. In this one we're gonna be designing something very simple. I've been playing Mass Effect recently. There's a new channel I have, you can check it out. And you know, as usual, I'm getting inspired by some cool sci-fi over there. So we're gonna do some simple stuff with HardOPs and Boxcutter as usual. My favorite add-ons. Let's just run some cuts in here. Maybe run it like this, and maybe here and down, and boom. So we call this cutter and cut it somewhere here from the ceiling a bit, like this. Maybe that's a bit too deep. Somewhere here, like that, boom. And I think that's cool. And yeah, that's awesome. All right. Now let's cut this from the top with a box. We're going to open the structure a bit, make it a bit more airy, but not to the very bottom, maybe somewhere here, that's okay. And we're going to mirror it to the other side. That's cool. And let's cut some vents here, whatnot. So two of them like this, Shift T for taper, and you know, something like this. It's might be a bit deep, but it's okay. Let's curve these two because, you know, I want it to be a bit more supple. It's going to be pretty cool. And the same here at the end. So I think I'm going to do it after I finish applying cutters, because at the moment I could only, you know, taper the top. I want to taper both. I mean, bevel both of them. Let's run some cutter in here. So let's actually run a box in here. So let's run a box, and we could bevel this like that. And then let's actually recall this and run an end gun here and press C for cyclic and T for solidification. And let's just move it in here. Let's rotate it a little bit and slice it, and then we can, you know, copy this to the other side. That's peachy. This cut here could be a little bit deeper, you know, so I have a scroll, and one more time. This one could be a bit deeper, so let's make it a bit taller and a bit deeper. So it's gonna go really deep in here. Maybe that's a bit too deep. Something like this is cool. Could actually go even deeper than that. Somewhere here, that's actually awesome. And maybe closer to the external edge. There we go. It went a bit too down, so I mean too deep on a Z. So let's recall this and bring it a little bit higher. So GZ, and move it somewhere here. That's cool. All right. Now let's slice this one here. So let's go back to box and slice this. And let's solidify this with T, and let's move it a little bit outside. So shift click to shift it to live, and move it maybe somewhere here. It's maybe a bit too deep, so move it somewhere here. That's cool. And in fact, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna scale it down and maybe create something like this here. This will be interesting. Let's apply this. So let's apply sharpen here, and let's bevel these, right? Because we haven't done this. So we need to bevel them as well. There you go. And let's bevel this one here. Not too much, because it's gonna overshoot. That's awesome. Now let's cut this one. So let's slice this and T. And maybe B for bevel, just for fun, right? And shift click, move it up. Let's move it up here somewhere. That's cool. Let's create two cuts in here. So one here and one there. B, create something like this. We can sharpen this and select this one, Control L and P, because it's solidified, so it kind of hangs in the air, right? So we can select it and all of it, and split it into its own selection and have some fun with this now, right? Go to circle and try to, you know, maybe create some floor, some kind of bolts, or some kind of mounting. That will do. So Shift 2. Awesome. This one too, I want to separate. It's Control LP, and then let's grab these two edges and bevel them, and we can move this entire thing outside a bit here. That's pretty cool. Could create some 2 monitors in here or something with box. See how easy it is to create some really cool form with very simple cuts. And you gotta be careful here. So you know what, we're gonna go with J, and we're gonna go the other way. Okay, so we're gonna go here, and it's a little bit too deep, so we're going to scale it on X, and maybe bevel this like that. That's pretty cool. It's hanging a little bit outside, away from this, so we're gonna move it in, GZZ, and move it in, so it's actually inside the structure. And let's apply this, okay, and in fact, you know what, let's not apply this, let's move it a little bit to the side. There we go. And we can apply it now, right? And let's cut it inside of it. Let's just inset it and extrude it, and we're going to shift curve extrude this, all right, like that. In fact, we're gonna solidify it a bit further. So go to modifiers. Where are they? Where are the modifiers? Here. Solidify it outside like that. And what I'm gonna do is slash it with an end gun. So apply sharpen, and go here, press C to leave that what do you call this thing, cyclic mode, and there you go. We're gonna apply some bevels here, so let's drop a bevel, a thin one, okay, weighted normals, and we're gonna drop a little bit of a thicker bevel here, okay. This one is, I think, overshooting. No, it's not. Cool. Awesome. So we got something like this, peachy. Now let's grab this one here in the middle. This one is not sliced yet. The cutters are not applied, so we can insert it and then scale it a little bit in, okay, and then we can detach it. Or we can do it differently. We can simply control click on curve extrude, and now we got this plane on top, okay. Something like this. We can slice it here with an end gun like this, okay, and slice this top here, and let's solidify this. So let's add modifier, solidification, solidify it up a bit, and let's remove all the modifiers, right? So the boolean and mirror can stay, and it's cool. And what we're gonna do now is we're going to press Alt Z, not Alt X, Alt Z, because I want to see through, and we're going to cut some holes in here. So one maybe here. I don't know, it's a good idea. Maybe I'm gonna do it differently. Maybe I'm going to slice it like this, slice it like that, and GY move it in here, and then Alt Z. Yeah, maybe that's a better idea. So something like this, and we probably want to slice it in here as well. So end gun, let's go to local, go to top view, Shift V and view mode, and slice it here like that. Actually from the other side, because we got mirror from the other side, right? So from here, come on, there we go, that's better. How are we looking? Yeah, we're looking pretty cool. Sharpen this, and let's bevel this, give it a thicker bevel, okay, but don't overdo it. We could select this corner and bevel the corner here, and bevel the corner here, and peachy. So that's that. And inside of this we could actually cut some kind of some kind of a shape. So let's go back to object, and I want to cut some big panels in here inside, okay, something like this, and bevel them, of course, and extrude them down, right, and press T for solidification, and cut something like this, which is awesome. Cool. So we got that going on, and we have we need something in here as well. So let's grab this one and shift the shift curve extract. That's what I meant. Let's sharpen this and let's see what we can do here. Let's grab an angle and start cutting this here in some kind of a cool fashion. Let's create something like this here. Come on. Oh, this is really annoying me. Let's go to input and right mouse button to cancel. It's my favorite behavior of Boxcutter. It's much faster to cut this way because I can immediately cancel my Boxcutter cut. Alright, so let's select this and sharpen this. It's doubled. What's going on in here? Hang on. Something's weird going on in here. Probably mirror or something. Let's go back here for a sec. Alright, and then let's operations and multiply. There we go. Let's attempt this again. Alright, sharpen. Maybe it's better. We need some edge here as well, so on top. That's good. Are we looking from the front? It's a little bit too noisy for my liking, so we're going to go back in time a little bit to this cut. Yeah, and we're going to do something else here. So we're going to slice it with a box, actually with one box, like that. Okay, and we're gonna press T for solidification, right, and B for above the bevel, and we're going to make another cut inside of it, also with the bevel and T. And now we can create some kind of a pattern in here. So let's Shift R to reset the HardOPs array, and let's array this a little bit on each side like that. Okay, cool. Yeah, that's better. See, it's not so loud, but actually fills in this this area here. This could be some cool detail here as well, because why not? So we could, cut some wedges in here or whatnot. So press W for a wedge. And maybe here we could create one larger cut. Press W to remove the wedge. And let's sharpen this. It's gonna add a bit of interest and break the surface, you see. Here we could create some cuts as well on the side. We could be a little bit bigger even. Maybe that's too big, but something like this here. And wedge it as well. This way. This could be an interesting idea. How are we looking? I don't like this. I'm gonna do something else in here. I'm going to create a cut here, like that. Regular cut, but I'm going to bevel this from this side and press Q for quad bevel. So I'm gonna bevel it from all sides. Okay, so something like this. And I'm gonna actually draw a cylinder in here. So I'm going to go to circle and draw it from here, press J, E, and extrude it up to here. Now here we could use something as well. We could use a little bit of a kind of like a, cut in this direction, like that. Sharpen, and then select this wall and curve extract it. And we could drop it down here, like this, right? And or even straight cut would do, okay, like this, right? Or even kind of open cut like that. So this is actually pretty cool. I liked it. We could slice it in here, and slice it in here as well, like this from the back. Does it make sense? Yeah, that's cool. I'm okay with that. Awesome. We could have some kind of a pipe going in the back as well, or kind of maybe some kind of a cable mount or whatnot, here. So we could grab a cube, right, and scale this and snap it in here, right, and scale it down. Go to the right side view, move it in here, scale it down. Let's That's maybe too much. So it kind of fits, you know, and slice it, right? And then we could just, you know, have some fun here. So create some kind of a design with this, right? Something that goes, you know, across this structure, right? So in the back, you know, like maybe some kind of a cable support or whatnot, right? So you can see it from here, kind of breaks this this whole structure. Cool. Now here we could have some lamps or whatnot, so we could have like one big one or several smaller ones. I think maybe one big one is okay here. But if you're gonna make it a square, it's gonna be a bit boring. Also, we need to switch this one to angle. The bevel, because it's not catching this edge here, and the bevel maybe is a bit too crazy, so make it a bit smaller. Now I'm thinking, you know, a few cuts here would be interesting, like this, right? So V and go the other way, and maybe create, you know, 4 cuts this way, and press T, and then B for bevel. Maybe this solidification is a bit too crazy, so make it a bit thinner. And we could have lights like this, but I think it's gonna be a bit too noisy. So what I'm gonna do instead, I'm going to simply run a light in here like this, with a bit of a bevel. And let's just turn off this Q and press T for solidification. And it's gonna be a bit more calm, you see, kind of like coming down. It's okay. Here could be also another light, or some kind of a ventilation or whatnot. We could have like a massive, you know, massive panel in here. We could sharpen this, and let's separate it, so Control P, and let's run some cuts in here. So let's bring it to local, go to top view and Shift V, view, and gone. Let's run some cuts in here. I think I'm gonna go with slash. Did it go through? I think I'm gonna have to go from this side. Oh shit, not this one. One more time. C for cyclic. And X. Whoa. I'm not in orthographic. No, I'm in orthographic. You gotta be in orthographic mode, otherwise you're gonna get weird results. There we go. That's better. How are we looking? Yeah, we're looking pretty cool. We could inset them in, you know, so GZ and just move them in a little bit, right? It's gonna be kind of interesting. You always want to break surfaces, you know, because it just, you know, adds a bit of interest, right? Same in here, the top could be broken a bit, so, you know, we could just run kind of this sort of a situation, right? So break it as well here. It's mirrored, so and we could just make it a bit smaller, right? So let's Shift S into geometry. That's not gonna work. Let's sharpen this and sharpen this. Select them both and Shift S to geo. We got mirrors going on, so let's operations and multiply, and then select this one and Shift S to geo, and now it should work. Oh shit, I went through. Oh, fuck off. Let's go back. Let me see this one more time. There we go. Let's recall the cutters. Wait a minute. What happens is that we went too deep. I forgot it's just one mesh. What I want is a cut on the top, not on the bottom. So now we Gucci, right? So let's now try this Shift S and to geo. Yeah, we need to apply this. So let's select both and operations multiply, and then Shift S to geometry. Now you're talking, and then S. SZ, and you can scale it down or up. I think down is going to be better, so just literally scale it in. What we could also do is scale it on this face here. So move a cursor here to face and switch your pivot here to cursor, which in my case I think is done automatically by machine tools, but I'm not sure. You can scale it on the cursor as Shift X. So it's not scaling on X, and it's gonna scale only on, you know, other axes, right? And boom, Bob's your uncle. Now let's just unparent this, Alt P, and unparent it. We're good to go. We could still create some cool, you know, like some small cuts in here, some kind of a wedge cuts. Okay, so Shift V object, and you can do this with decals as well, right? It's not a big deal. It doesn't have to be a cut. It can be a decal, but they're gonna add some really cool breakage to the surface, which adds a little bit of a visual interest. Breaking surfaces is always important, you see. It's like a really small detail, but, you know, let's mirror this. But it really breaks the surface. Here in the bottom as well, we could just borrow this one. So Shift DX. Are we on a cursor orientation? So individual and a cursor GY. And drop it down. And we can just make it smaller. And fit it in here, you know, like this, right? So you're gonna kind of, I don't know, something, right, going on. We could panel this thing up, so go to the top view, orthographic D, and gone, and cut some stuff in it, you know, like that, right, with X, boom, and copy to the other side, and select everything, and operations multiply. We have some double G on here. Probably this one is not mirrored, there we go, because he was sliced. And then select them, all of them, and Shift S to Geo. We need to apply everything again because of mirrors. Shift S to Geo, there we go. Select these, so these ones, and they are separate. Okay, so let's select everything, and what we're gonna do is press P and by loose parts, which will separate them into separate objects. So this one and this one is separate. Shift S and to Geo, and now we can scale them individually. Shift X, so we're gonna scale them just like we scaled this one on every axis except X, which is gonna create a really cool kind of indentation. This one needs some weighted normals, and Bob's your uncle. So there you go. Now we could add some, you know, maybe some cables in here. Okay, so what we could do is grab this one here and you know, cut it in a little bit, just not too deep, because if you go too deep you will encroach into the other cut. A little bit deeper of a bevel, there you go, something like this. I don't know if it's not too much, to be honest. Yeah, it's a little bit, you know, I'll prefer to do something small in here, you know, something like this. Yeah, see what I mean? It's a bit more subtle. You do need areas of rest, you know, like this, like these large areas where nothing is really happening. And then, you know, we could have some wall or whatnot, preferably solidified and turned around on x-axis. Alt V, let's check which face orientation we need to go with. We fine, so put it somewhere, I don't know, somewhere here. Make it a bit larger, maybe less crazy. Right, and then Shift Alt C, and let's run Cablerator from here, you know, to here, and then Q. We can actually, you know what, we don't have to run Q. We can mirror this. So let's just position it in here, and mirror this to the other side. There we go. And we get something like this, which is awesome. These pipes are sticking out a bit, but we can move them out. So let's go to the side view and, you know, move them somewhere here, and boom, Bob's your uncle, and pretty cool. And then we can, you know, apply the mirror. So, you know, let's apply the mirror. So can we even apply the mirror? Chihuahua, it's a curve. Let's remove the mirror, right? Because what I want to do is, in fact, we're gonna run another tube, because I want to make two different ones. Yeah, you don't want to make the same thing. So press D and just gonna curve it a little bit differently, you know, kind of like this. So they're not, you know, right? They're not the same. They don't look the same. It's maybe a bit too extreme. So move it a little bit up here. But there you go, they're not the same, which is cool. This one is a little bit boring, to be honest. Could be a little bit more, you know, kind of going in like that. Cool. I'm not gonna be bothering with this panel here, but you know, you could slice it in half. You could do something like this, you know, and Shift Z, move it up and make it a bit smaller and make it into parts. So let's scale it and move it in, and then move this one up, and you get kind of like a paneling effect. The only problem now is that we need to move it lower because it doesn't fit. And then we also need a floor, right? So plane, maybe somewhere here, make it bigger, solidify it down, and you know, you start talking about your small environment, and then we need to create some kind of a paneling around it. I'm not gonna be doing this, guys, but this is as far as I'm gonna bring it. But you see, you can create something really cool very quickly, kind of a sci-fi terminal or whatnot. There could be some turbines in here, or some kind of a canister we could create maybe. Let's add a bit more cylinders, maybe 50, because I want it to be round. Let's bevel this, make it a bit smaller. Go to the front view and make it a bit bigger. Then let's move it actually somewhere here. And let's run a power save because reasons. Let's grab this and create like a bracing in here. Yeah. And maybe one more on top, so Shift Z. And we could create kind of a bottom here. So let's chamfer this. Let's insert it, extrude it, insert it one more time, extrude it and chamfer it. It's gonna be kind of like a, you know, canister-ish feeling. Here as well, we could actually make it a little bit different like this. Mark it sharp and insert it a bit more, and then kind of collapse it like this, right? And select them both and mirror them to the other side, and we got, you know, this kind of a situation. Move them a bit higher, operations and sharpen. And the bevels are a little bit too crazy on these, so we can lower them down. Yeah, still too big. There we go. These could be, you know, let's select everything here around, and let's run the checker deselect maybe. Let's scale them in a bit. Wait a minute. There's a ring in here. Let's remove that. Let's remove this one too. And then let's select these. Select, checker deselect. Where is it? Let's scale them a bit, alright, and simply EM macro inside, right, or actually even outside, but then the bevel is too big, right? The bevel needs to be much smaller than this, and you got kind of like generators or whatnot. They're a little bit maybe too low, so we can bring them a bit higher, kind of like here, something like this, right? And you got this kind of a situation. Pretty cool. And some kind of a bracing here, you know, or whatnot. We could still use the same one, guys. Not a big deal, right? So just make it narrower, you know, kind of like this. No one's gonna notice what's going on, right? So even what we can do is, you know, move it here like that and sharpen this, and Shift Z, move it in here, and you got, you know, this kind of a thing, reusing the same elements. Awesome. And we're kind of done. Oh, we need to move this one too. So Shift Z, move it in here on both sides. So mirror this across, and we're done. Cool. Awesome. And this could be, you know, I'm not gonna be modeling these walls anymore because, you know, it's already 30 minutes of a tutorial. But there you go. We got some simple, cool design. We didn't even use a scale, but I think it's gonna fit perfectly a human. So this could be some kind of a terminal here in the middle as well, or maybe some kind of a terminal here on the side, or they just, you know, someone simply comes over here and performs some maintenance with some kind of a device like a, you know, tablet or whatnot, right? Let me just chamfer this in. Yeah, macro inside. There we go. Boom. That looks a little bit better than the bleak one. So Shift DZ and Bob's your uncle. HardOPs and Boxcutter. If you duplicate your mesh, it's gonna be, you know, it's gonna run it with what do you call them? If you duplicate a mesh with booleans, it's going to run it with a parent, so the cutter is going to get parented and copied at the same time. Let's switch here bevel to weight, so you're going to catch this bottom edge. It's going to look a bit more sharp and defined. There you go. Check out my other channel. It's Hard Surface Gaming. We are playing Mass Effect at the moment. Third episode is landing today. They're quite long, so you know, you can just watch them, chill out, zone out, and have some fun. There's some flip normals in here, so let's see what's up. Select everything, Alt N, and recalculate outside, and PG. This is a little bit thick, you know, so I'm thinking maybe I could just lighten it up a bit by running a cut in here like this. See, it's gonna lighten the whole structure. See what I mean? And the separations are really important. The same here, we could create some kind of a notch, or maybe even a wedge. Okay, so W, you know, for a wedge, and sharpen. This one isn't beveled, so let's, okay, and also weighted normals. There you go. And that's a bit better. It's not mirrored, so let's do that. Maybe across this one. There you go. And just gives a little bit more of a depth. What happened to our bottom bit? It disappeared, didn't it? Let's just shift Z. We got just make it a little bit larger on X. And drop it down. Yeah, drop it in here. You could even rotate it, you know, just for a cool effect like this. Let's maybe rotate the different angles. So we're going to move it to selected and rotate it on a cursor. So RX. Now it's gonna rotate, you see, together. So you could do something like this. And we could extend it really, just create a different effect here like that. Breaking surfaces, like for example breaking angles, is really important because it's gonna give you a different reflections. Okay, so this is really crucial, yeah, to, you know, learn how to break angles, right? This is going to, you know, it's angled, so it's going to create a different sort of a reflection for you, right? Cool. Alright guys, well that's it from me. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. Like I said, check out my Hard Surface Gaming channel. Links to HardOPs and Boxcutter in the video description. Thank you for watching. Catch you next one.